You know what's funny? Most of the people you think are fluent and confident in English are, in fact, just really good at disguising it. They are good at sounding calm, even the moment they are unsure. That is the secret. It's not perfection, it's not vocabulary, it's not grammar. It's the ability to sound calm, to project ease, even if you're not, even if your mind is running 1,000 miles per hour. It's about staying centered when you don't. Okay, and the moment you realize that, your communication skills are improved and change forever. So today, let's talk about how to sound confident even when you're not. We grow up thinking fluency is never hesitating, but even native speakers hesitate. They pause, they search for words, they restart sentences. The difference? They do not apologize for it. They don't shrink. They own the space. So your goal is not to erase hesitation, it's to normalize it. When you hesitate, breathe, smile, continue. The more you resist the urge to panic, the more fluent you'll actually sound. Because real fluency is comfort in motion, not speed without thought. The next time you freeze mid-sentence, remember, silence isn't weakness, it's composure. You don't sound insecure in English because your English is bad. You sound insecure because your brain is in a survival mode. You're scanning for danger. Will they judge me? Will I sound dumb? And that noise hijacks your voice. Once you understand that confidence is a nervous system skill, not a language skill, everything shifts. You stop fighting your English and start calming your body, your mind. The problem is in your grammar, it's your tension. Before your words even come out, your body has already spoken. Your posture, your breath, your facial tension, all transmit messages before your mouth does. If your shoulders are tight, your voice tightens too. So before speaking English, reset your body. One deep breath, relax your jaw. Confidence starts from the neck down. You don't speak confidence, you show it. Try this. Next meeting, before speaking, exhale slowly. You sound 20% more confident instantly. When you're speaking English, do you ever feel like you're performing rather than communicating? That's the performance trap. Trying to sound good instead of connect. When you speak to impress, you disconnect from the present moment. When you speak to express, you relax into it. Confidence doesn't come from sounding perfect. It comes from sounding real. Remember, people don't remember perfect English. They remember genuine energy. Remember, people don't remember perfect English. They remember genuine energy. Here's a paradox. You won't sound confident until you speak often, but you won't speak often until you feel confident. That's a paradox. So, how do you break the cycle? You stop waiting for confidence and act as if you already have it. That's the secret. Confidence grows from repetition under discomfort. Every time you speak through the nerves, you build tolerance. You're not learning English anymore. You're training emotional resilience. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, it's to function instead of it. Fluent people make mistakes all the time. They just move on faster. You correct yourself mid-sentence, not mid-life. A confident speaker doesn't ignore errors. They just don't freeze because of them. It's about recovery, not perfection. The faster you forgive yourself, the faster you grow. Confidence isn't speaking without mistakes. It's speaking through them, through the mistakes. Comparison kills confidence. You know that colleague who sounds amazing in English? They have their own insecurities too. You're comparing your inside to their outside. Every accent, every rhythm, every background is different. Confidence starts when you stop auditioning for someone else's idea of fluency. Your English doesn't have to sound like theirs. It has to carry your message clearly. Your voice doesn't need validation, it needs permission. One of the most powerful ways to sound confidence is simply to be present. When you truly listen, your responses sound more grounded. Confidence is less about what you say, more about how you inhabit the moment. So slow down. Make eye contact. Do not rush to fill silence. Let silence work for you. You notice people lean in when you're comfortable with pauses. Stillness speaks louder than volume. Sometimes your English doesn't sound like you because you're translating emotions, not words. You think in Portuguese, I want to sound polite, and then you overcorrect in English. You sound too formal, too distant, too robotic. Confidence comes from feeling the emotion directly in English. Speak the emotion, not grammar. Say it with a tone that matches your intention. Once you stop translating feelings, your English becomes your voice. When you speak English, you're not a different person. You're just accessing a different version of yourself. But many people lose their personality when they switch languages, as to say. They sound smaller, quieter, less expressive. Why? Because they're protecting themselves from judgment. That's the main risk. Confidence begins when you stop performing an English version of you. You don't need to become someone else. You need to bring yourself into the English space, as to say. Don't aim to sound native, aim to sound authentic. Okay, what to do the moment before you speak. The 3 seconds before you open your mouth, decide how you will sound. If your inner voice says, hey man, don't mess up, your tone tightens instantly. But if you breathe and think, I belong here, I know this territory, your whole sound changes. Before even meeting, take that small pause. It's not wasted time, remember, it's calibration. Your English doesn't start with grammar, it starts with the mindset. Confidence is built in silence, just before you speak, remember that. You have to listen to improve your confidence. How to do that? You don't have to speak all the time to sound confident. Confident people listen fully. They don't rush to prove they understand. When you really listen, you catch patterns, tone, rhythm, and your brain relaxes. You stop rehearsing your reply while the other person is still talking. You don't do that. You pay full attention to what the other person is saying. Listening deeply is a confidence too. Remember, the less you rush to respond, the more control you project, and the more confidence you sound. What if I forget a word? Everyone forgets words, even in our native language. But when it happens in English, we panic because it's not our mother tongue. The trick is, don't stop talking. Navigate around it. Say, what's a word? It's like, and describe the idea. Explain the concept. That shows resourcefulness, not weakness. People remember your clarity, not your missing word. Fluency isn't knowing every word, isn't having a huge vocabulary. It's never running out of ways to explain. okay? You have to look for simple ways to explain, but if you don't remember the word you are looking for, just explain the concept. Explain what you are intending to say. Certainty has a specific tone. Confidence has a specific tone. And it's not loudness, it's steadiness. Speak slightly slower with intention. Drop your voice at the end of key sentences instead of raising it. Raising your tone shows uncertainty. Dropping signals conviction. Look the difference. Take a sentence, for example, I work for the bank now. I'm working for the bank now. If you rise up in the end, I'm working for the bank right now, it sounds uncertain, questionable. But if you drop your tone in the end, I'm working for the bank right now. See, you sound more confident. So this falling tone expresses conviction, certainty, right? Practice it consciously for a week. You'll feel the confidence growing, increasing immediately. Your tone teaches people how much to trust your words. You still can form confidence through curiosity. How to do it? When you feel unsure, shift from I have to prove myself to I'm curious about them. Ask a question. Repeat a key word they said. Curiosity pulls you out of self-consciousness. It moves your focus outward where connection lives. Ironically, confidence grows faster when you stop obsessing about how you sound. Confidence isn't ego. It's presence plus curiosity. Show you are curious about the person who's talking to you. Ask questions, add information, and you're gonna sound really a lot more confident than you really are, even if you are feeling anxious and insecure. Sometimes the person across from you starts speaking faster than you can process. Do not freeze. Instead of freezing, own the space. You can say something like, could you repeat that, please? Or, let me make sure I got this right. It's not weakness. It's leadership in communication. It shows the other person that you value clarity over pretending. The most confident people aren't the ones who understand everything. They are the ones who manage the moment calmly. Never apologize for needing clarity. It's a power move. You know that voice, the little voice in your head that says, man, you sound terrible. It's lying. It's not describing reality. It's describing your fear. The more you listen to it, the smaller your voice becomes. Try this. Next time it shows up, say to yourself, thank you, but I've got this. Thank you, I'm in control. Confidence doesn't mean killing that voice. It means disobeying it, not obeying the voice. You can mute fear. It's impossible, but you can lower its volume. So do it. If you ever lose control mid-conversation, do a quick reset. Pause. Inhale. Smile slightly. Recenter your eyes on the other person. Those 5 seconds rebuild your presence faster than perfection ever could. Confidence is not a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs, a series of recoveries. You don't need to feel confidence to act confident. You're allowed to restart, even mid-sentence. People are like emotion sponges. The way others perceive your English often reflects how you feel about it. If you speak with tension, they sense tension. If you relax, they relax. Your energy leads the interaction. You literally modulate the way the other people are feeling and speaking to you. That's why mindset matters more than pronunciation or grammar. Your presence shapes the room. Remember, do not wait for people to make you feel confident. Lead with confidence and they will follow. A global meeting, English is no one's first language. People forget about that. Even native speakers adjust, simplify, rephrase constantly. So stop assuming everyone's judging your English. They're just trying to follow the conversation too. Once you realize everyone's adapting, you're free to relax. You start contributing instead of overthinking. Remember, confidence isn't perfection, it's participation. Embrace the power of clarity. In business communication, clarity beats vocabulary. You don't need complex words, you need structure. Say your idea, pause, summarize it, one short sentence. People will perceive you as confident simply because they can follow you. In English, the rule is simple. Clear is powerful and slow is smart. Don't aim to sound impressive. Aim to be understood. You think you don't have authority because you are using simple words? Fluent speakers sometimes hide behind complicated phrases. Confident speakers choose simplicity with intention. Instead of saying, I like to highlight the potential for scalability, say, this idea can grow fast. Short words hit harder. Simplicity is not lack of fluency, it's control. Remember that. Confidence is saying less, but saying with purpose, with objective. You know that moment when it's your turn to speak and your heart accelerates, it races? It's not a language problem, it's just adrenaline. Use it. Use your adrenaline. Channel this energy into a strong first breath and a clear first sentence. Say something simple like, here's how I see it. Once your voice is out, the body calms down because you let the energy flows, you let it go. You don't overcome nerves by thinking, you overcome them by starting to speak. What if someone corrects me? You don't see it as correction, but as feedback. When someone corrects your English or doesn't understand you, don't take it personally. It's not an offense. They're not attacking your intelligence. They're asking for clarity. They only want to understand. Shift from I made a mistake to that's useful data. Every correction is feedback from real world. The most confident communicators are those who use feedback as a training tool, not as a proof of failure. Remember, feedback isn't judgment. It's free coaching. In international teams, people respect conviction more than accent. Speak your ideas clearly, even if your English isn't perfect. You don't need to sound like a native to be persuasive, you know? You need to sound sure of your message. Start your sentences with strength. I believe. From my experience, my view is that, that's how leadership sounds. People don't follow perfect English, they follow confident direction. When you lower your speaking pace, you instantly show authority. Faster talkers sound nervous. Calm talkers sound in control. In meetings, try this. Speak one thought per breath. You seem more composed, even if you're improvising. Confidence lives in your pauses, not in your speed. The calmer you sound, the stronger you appear. So many professionals ruin their English by rushing through it. They try to prove fluency by speaking faster, but that only amplifies mistakes. Slow down. When you pause, you give your listening time to process and give yourself time to think. Fluency isn't measured in words per minute, but in connection per idea. Remember, slow is the new fluent. And don't be afraid to show warmth. A light joke, a genuine laugh, or a small smile during conversation doesn't make you less professional. It makes you more human. Humor breaks tension, especially across cultures. When you relax others, they perceive you as confident. Confidence isn't stiffness, it's easy under pressure. Here's the truth. The more you use English, the more it becomes part of who you are. But that doesn't mean you lose your roots. It means you expand. Confidence comes from integration, not imitation. You're not replacing your Portuguese self. You're evolving into your global self. Your English doesn't erase you. It amplifies you. So don't chase a new identity. Build one that includes all your voices. And remember, people don't feel your grammar, they feel your energy. They remember your eyes, your tone, your presence, not your verb tense. That's why confidence is contagious. When you believe in what you're saying, your English carries that belief. Next time you speak, forget about the right word. Focus on transmitting the right feeling, because communication starts long before words, remember? You don't have to sound perfect. You just have to sound alive, human. Confidence isn't built in big moments. It's built in repetition. Every time you speak English, you either reinforce fear or train confidence. So build small rituals. Read out loud for 2 minutes every morning, for example. Record a short voice message daily. Talk to yourself in English when you're alone. You're not practicing pronunciation. You're teaching your brain that English is a safe place. The more familiar it feels, the less your mind panics. Confidence doesn't grow in silence. It grows in use. At some point, you realize something powerful. You've stopped acting confident. You've become confident. You still make mistakes. You still search for words, but you no longer feel small, because confidence is not the absence of doubt. Remember that. It's moving forward despite it. You notice that people listen differently. You notice that your ideas land. And you'll understand that your English, with all its imperfections, it's already good enough to carry your dreams. Okay? Keep showing up, keep speaking, keep owning your voice, because sounding confident starts with believing, I belong in this language.